Ballers! We are back and we are trying more soda, but it's just going to be me this time, so it's probably not going to be quite as interesting. Sorry. That's just the way life is right now. The good news is I'm going to have an entire, complete tasting of every flavor of this particular brand. What brand? Captain Eli's. I've seen these in a few places, but I came across all of these at once at a Star Market and thought, what the heck, I'm going to go ahead and give these a try. And there are indeed 8 flavors, 7 technically, because one of them is only a diet version of another one, and that flavor is actually the one that I'm holding in my hand. Root beer, the first flavor. They don't have a regular cola. This is the closest that we have to a staple, so we're going to go ahead and just... That was rather easy to open. And today we have the fancy cup, because this was the only glass apparently that my roommates own. It actually smells like this is going to be really good root beer. I'm not going to lie. Here's the thing to know about me and root beer, okay? I grew up drinking the generic root beer from Walmart, and I've lost almost all taste for root beer. There are very few root beers that I will actually be able to drink without wanting to gag. This is actually really, really good. It's got a little bit of a bite to it, but not quite as much as what you would expect from like bars or whatever. It's sweet, but not too sweet. It's a very, very balanced drink, and I cannot stress enough how much I like this. I'm actually going to pour a little bit more of this. I'm actually very impressed. Man, it's hard to believe that this little bottling company from Portland, Maine just knocked this root beer out of the park, but they did. This may actually be the best root beer I've ever tasted. Captain Eli's root beer, 10 out of 10. We're starting off really strong. I'm honestly shocked. Now, we're going to go ahead and rain on the parade a little bit because we have the diet root beer here. There's no way this is going to be as good as the regular root beer, so... we can set our expectations just a little bit lower. It does smell slightly different. You can smell just a little bit of artificialness to it compared to the regular root beer. This does not taste anywhere near as good. To this drink's credit, it doesn't do what other diet drinks do and overcompensate on the artificial sweeteners to make up for the lack of sugar. But it then just kind of leaves it with the actual extract taste of it, and it's just not that great of a drink. For a diet soda, it's not bad, but there are better alternatives out there. Diet Dr. Pepper does theirs in a better way than what I would say they do compared to their root beer. Their root beer is miles ahead of their diet variant here. Captain Eli's diet root beer, it's not as bad as other diet drinks. It's still going to get a 4 out of 10 because it just was not good. Next up comes into some of the more original flavors of soda that I was more interested in trying. This one specifically was Blueberry Pop. And I don't know that I've ever had a blueberry soda before. These have all been insanely easy to open, so I'm thinking this is by design here. I will give them credit. Oh ho ho ho. It does definitely looks like it's colored in a blueberry way. Ooh, this definitely smells like blueberries. This is children's cough syrup. But as far as children's cough syrup goes, this is actually one of the better ones. I don't know that that's necessarily Captain Eli's fault. I think when you start getting into berry sodas, you're going to have a lot of them that are going to have that cough syrupy taste to them. There may not be a lot you can do, but there are definitely those that don't have that taste. Fanta does it well, for example. Captain Eli's, however, they missed the mark. This falls under that cough syrup category. This definitely has the cough syrup vibe. Still not bad, though. I'm going to go ahead and give it a 5 out of 10 because I don't find it objectionable, but I don't find it that good either. Going to a more original flavored soda, we've got cream soda this time, so hopefully we can recover. Because seriously, that root beer was terrific. I would hate to think that was going to be as good as it got. Alright, the coloring on this looks promising. Because it does have the cream color to it without it being too cloudy. You got some nice bubblage there. Oh, it smells like a marshmallow. This could be really good. The flavor is really good, but there's a slight problem. It's really, really subtle. You feel honestly like you're drinking more bubbles than you do actual cream soda, and it's kind of weird that you explain it that way. Like the cream soda is almost an afterthought, and you are thinking more about the texture than the soda, because there's just not a lot of flavor there. But if you like close your eyes and just think about the flavors in your mouth, those flavors are really enjoyable. I think with a few minor modifications, this could be really, really good. But until they do that, Captain Eli's cream soda, I'm gonna give you a 6 out of 10 because it's almost like drinking water. Next up, we have Orange Pop. And if you cannot tell from the camera right now, because I have no idea if it's focused, this is not a clear beverage. Not only is this not a clear beverage, there's actually little bits of stuff in here. And this is part of why I wanted to do this video. I had to know. Incidentally, that was the hardest it was to take off any of these just now. I had to know what was in here. I do not see any of the little solid pieces I noticed. This is very tart compared to your traditional orange soda. I cannot say I'm a fan of this orange soda. I actually think I know what's going on here. I remember when we were doing the polar videos, we had the dry soda videos that were not really like a traditional like fruit flavored soda. They were like something else. I think that's what's going on here. Because this is not like Sunkist or Crush or whatever your orange drink of choice is. This is very unsweet. In fact, I would argue this is very unsoda-like. I think this particular flavor needs a rebranding because I think that the type of soda that this is not what is being advertised on the bottle. Captain Eli's Orange Pop, I'm giving you a 2 out of 10. I don't know what you are. Next up, once again, we have a black cherry soda on this one, and oh my god, I am excited. And a non sequitur, granted, but just because I can, I actually have another black cherry soda up here that I just have for no reason. Eventually I will drink it one day, maybe not on camera, but just generally speaking, I like black cherry soda. That's my point. That's why I grabbed that. I can already smell this, so... Huh, the color is much more translucent than I would have expected. For what is advertised as any kind of cherry soda, you can see quite well through that despite it being red. It doesn't actually smell that good. You pick up a little bit of cherry, but it kind of smells like a shoe. If you remember the black cherry Kool-Aid powder, imagine not mixing that into water and just putting it directly in your mouth. That flavor is what this is. It's too forward in some of the elements that are undesirable. It doesn't really come together that well. You know, honestly, this would be a good time to bring Virgil down here. So Virgil's is another brand that makes these weird kind of drinks. So I think they're more commercial than Captain Eli's is. You don't get nearly as pungent of a smell. The color is not as translucent. This is more what I would expect. And while I do think that Virgil's has more bite than the average black cherry soda, it has a nice flavor to it that has a nice level of sweetness along with tartness that comes together very well. Captain Eli's does not have that. Captain Eli's is getting beat out by Old Time and they sell 20-ounce bottles of soda for 50 cents, so that really says a lot. Captain Eli's Black Cherry Pop, definitely the most disappointing black cherry soda I've ever had. I'm giving this a 1 out of 10. This was insanely disappointing. Next up we have a ginger beer. I'm not particularly fond of ginger beers, but I will try to be open-minded here. Got a nice clear color to it. It smells like a ginger ale, which is to be expected. It's a ginger beer. This hits all the hallmarks of what I don't like about ginger beer. That being said, there are people who would probably like this, and so I'm trying to keep it in perspective for those of you. There's not a lot of sweetness to be had. There are some ginger beers out there that taste like you had one of those little white lifesavers. This doesn't come anywhere near that level. This focuses more on the ginger aspect of the flavor. There's a nice level of carbonation, but it's not overly carbonated. That being said, it does feel like the inside of my esophagus is being scarred as this goes down, so I don't know what the fuck the deal is with that. I need to empty this glass, and I'm genuinely afraid to drink the rest of this, so I'm actually gonna go toss it out my window right now. Sorry, Mrs. Nguyen! Captain Eli's ginger beer. I'm giving this a 0 out of 10 purely for the health aspect of this. Seriously, this is really causing me a lot of, issues. Ugh. Seriously, what the fuck is in here? Where are the ingredients? They did include citric acid in this, but how much citric acid? It seems like an unnecessary amount given how much discomfort I'm in. Last up, and I'm really hoping we can leave these sodas on a high note given how good that root beer was, is the strawberry pop. Alright, well, this one's pinkish. This one also has that issue of smelling like a shoe. It's okay. Honestly, this kind of reminds me of the old-time strawberry soda, which you didn't really get to see me review for some stupid reason. There's nothing remarkable about this, there's nothing terrible about this. I honestly think you could go right or wrong with this depending on how much you paid for the soda. By the way, for those of you wondering how much I paid for these were $1.50 a piece. So given that price point, and given that I know I can get this quality soda for 50 cents, I'm gonna say no, this is not worth it. Captain Eli's Strawberry Pop, I'm gonna give you a 5 out of 10 because I find you to be just mediocre right in the middle. That's it. Finally, full disclosure, I do want to mention, as I did in the beef jerky video, for example, that I did reach out to this company and inform that I would be making a video and wanted to see if they had anything that they wanted to contribute one way or another. They never responded. That's the end of the story. That did not influence my ratings one bit in this. It would have been a little bit more awkward, admittedly, had they responded, because some of these were pretty fucking awful, and one of them may have actually caused me some actual health issues now. But I do want to emphasize, if you come across this root beer, I'm dead serious. This is probably the best root beer I've ever had. The other sodas, just miss them, but this root beer alone, definitely go for this one. Whoever came up with this one, they should be making everything else. In the event that they are in fact making everything else, then they're a one-trick pony. I'm sorry, you had to hear it from me. And as much as I would love to sit here and give you some more comedic gold, I can't because I'm seriously in pain right now. So be sure to like, comment, and most importantly, subscribe. I cannot tell you how important that is, because you need to know if I live after drinking that ginger beer. You're my emergency contact right now.